Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining me. This is Read the Signs with Roxy. These are all my tarot books that I like to have nearby for any kind of incoming energies. Thank you for joining me. I will be your tarot reader today. I'm so honored. We're going to go ahead and jump right in. Your fire actually got started without me, Virgo, so I think that's definitely a sign to get going. I had a fire lit this morning, and the embers, the very bottom of my fire, caught this fire, and it hadn't been lit for maybe like 30 minutes, and somehow it got relit. So maybe that's a sign, maybe that's something for you to just wait on it. Just wait. Okay, Virgo, this is a reading for Virgo, tuning in with Virgo's angels, ancestors, their guides, their higher power, Mother Gaia. Tuning in with ascended masters. Show us clearly for Virgo. What does Virgo need to know at this time? Any signs or symbols for Virgo? Show us clearly. What does the Virgo collective need to hear at this time? Show us clearly for Virgo. What do we have for Virgo? I was doing archery this morning in my little bow staff practice. I am Virgo ascended, so this message is also going to be for me. Tuning in for Virgo. Show me clearly for Virgo. Virgo, show me clearly for Virgo. Wow, for some reason they're not wanting to come out. Knight of Wands. Okay. For Virgo, please. Wow, okay. We have 3 cards falling out. We have the Four of Cups. We have the Seven of Wands. And the Tower. Wow, so, whew. Alright, that flame is going. 7 of Wands, 4 of Cups, and the Tower. So, there's gonna be, okay, so first of all, Virgo, there's going to be a very profound change happening in your life, okay? A very clear evolution to what you've been experiencing. So, assuredness. Wow, beautiful. It's time to challenge the situation and say this is not good enough. Stand tall and take a stand. It's time to show the world just how damn tough you are. Wow, I love that. And then with this symbol in the back, it's looking like recognizing your path and kind of like highlighting where you are right now. Okay, this is like looking at the trajectory of where you've been and where you're going. Wow. Okay, beautiful. So assuredness. All right, so I think it's funny because it's stand tall and take a stand, and it's funny because we have these people falling over. So the way that these are, the standing cups, the standing staffs, like, it's very like strong. Like in Virgo, I always feel like, you guys have good posture, the way that you guys carry yourselves. I feel like a part of that is because of, the expectations that you hold yourself to. So I feel like it's trying to say, do something about that. Do something about in which ways that you feel unhappy, or that something isn't good enough for you. Okay. um, I'm talking to a very select group here. The Tower is also a Scorpio card, so this is about endings. This is about things evolving, past anything you've ever experienced before, if that makes sense. Okay, so I'm going to read. This is Alejandro Jodorowsky. He's a director, and he's an amazing tarot reader as well. So the Tower, action. Okay, so sevens are action in the world and upon the self. Okay, so sevens are a very self number. It's like very self-seeking, very like what is. So if you get the Seven of Swords, it's about deception. So the fact that the Seven of Wands came out, it's like well, what are you doing? It's a question of what are you doing in terms of your way of acting upon your daily basis, like 7 days a week kind of energy, okay? So, sorry, let's go to the Tower. The Tower is Major Arcana, so this is going to be something that's very fundamentally changing for you, okay? So, a lot of people are scared, they don't like the Tower, but after the Tower comes the Star card, okay, so in a reading, the tower signifies the emergence of something that was imprisoned. This can be a residential move, a separation, a moment of great expression. The desire to leave the country for another country, or a secret revealed, even a lightning strike that causes a catastrophe. It refers, as we have seen, to a dance of joyous separation. The figures are actually acrobats flying about in a theater. This can be giving birth to something that has long been gestating and takes dual shape here, the twinship of the animus and the anima collaborating on a long thought out work. Sometimes, if a person is seeing only one aspect of his question when interrogating the tarot, the tower reveals the existence of a second aspect, a second, less obvious possibility represented by the figure that was half emerged in the tower. The phallic connotation of the tower also makes it a symbol of the male sex organ and all the questions connected to ejaculation. Okay? When it takes on a more painful meaning of abrupt separation or expulsion, the tower can refer to expropriation, a rupture, difficult birth, or in case of siblings when one child was wanted and the other was not. The principal message of the tower could be stop looking for God in the sky, let's find him on earth. And if the tower spoke, okay, I am the temple. The entire world is an altar I make sacred. My life, like yours, proves at every heartbeat that the world is divine, that the flesh is a living celebration and a life of never-ending construction. With me, you'll know the joy that is the key to the sacred. I am life itself, the transformation and the reconstruction, the flame and the energy of everything alive, of all matter and all spirit. If you wish to enter me, you must rejoice, cast into the fire the infantile whims of sorrow and fear, and ask yourself every time you wake, what shall I celebrate now? I am the cataclysmic joy of living, the permanently unforeseen and marvelous catastrophe. Wow, oh my gosh, profound. A defensive crown once isolated me from a world. A cork of old words covered my mind, and clouds of crystallized, mummified, sclerotic feelings cast a shadow over my heartbeats and prevented the light from emerging. A thick cloak of desires transformed my appetite for life into a jailer. I was flesh without God, consuming itself in the flames of its own existence. My ego converted into a prison. Despising myself, isolating myself, believing I was defending an inner territory belonging only to me. Who was I in the darkness of the tower? Master of what? What was my appearance? What false identity? I was nothing but the rarefied air of egotistical obscurity. And suddenly, from both inside and outside, a nameless force emerged, the love that sustains all matter. My top opened as well as my inmost depths. The combined energies of heaven and matter crossed through me like a hurricane. I knew the burning of the center of the earth, the light from the center of the universe. I received the vibrating universal axis. I was no longer a tower, but a channel. Like the joy of union burst forth, the high was low and the low was high. Like a queen bee, I began to engender joyful beings. God was in me, and I was the only worshipful matter. I knew that I could burst, that each of my bricks would travel through infinity like a bird. I knew that everything imprisoned in matter gushed through me. I was the central pillar of a cosmic dance. I was quite simply the human body in full reception of its original energy. Wow. Oh, wow, Virgo. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Profound. So, I feel like the reading should end there. Virgo. So, this is that self-awareness here, that self-awareness from the tasks and the duties that we create throughout the day for ourselves, right? So we have that energy. And then we have the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups says to me, you're not unhappy, you're just bored. You're not unhappy, you're just bored. There's something more for you. You understand that there's something more for you just over the edge, right? Just over where you've experienced before. And that's why the Tower is pushing you over the ledge. It's pushing you beyond your comfort, beyond your throne, beyond your crown. There's something that you are seeking in the chaos, okay? Wow. No way, you guys, look what's on the bottom. The Star card. So after the Tower comes the Star, okay? It comes the moment when you can say, you know, that you are moving and living from a point of consciousness and glowing. You're like a lighthouse to people around you because of you activating you. Okay, you activating your true purpose, what you know intuitively that God is asking from you. Okay, so that's profound, that's beautiful. And a lot of times we can't get to that moment unless we let go, unless we release, unless we let things fall apart. Okay, so the 4 to the 7. Wow, okay, so that was the 10 of Swords. 10 of Swords is, it's giving the Tower is like it, but it's instead of a tower projecting you out, the 10 of Swords is you saying, I'm in my mental, I can no longer go this way, I can no longer sustain whatever it is, this ego, whatever this personality is, whatever this persona is that I've had to be up until this point. I no longer can sustain it, and you kind of allow yourself to leave it and to walk away. Okay, these are birds migrating out of the forest fire energy. Okay. Okay. What else do we have? We have King of Swords and we have the Page of Cups in the reverse. So I'm picking up like maybe a Gemini, an Aquarius energy, maybe even Libra. So we have the butterfly. There's a lightness here, very very airy, and we have the Page of Cups. So it might be a love offer, it might be something, it might be a love offer, it might be a message, um, or maybe spirit's trying to tell you not to go out of your way to communicate with someone or to offer a love interest or something along those lines, something that you are wishing that it was, that it isn't. I'm picking up. Let's get some clarification on that. What is this King of Swords? King of Swords with the Page of Cups. Let's pull one of these here. This is the Nightmare Before Christmas deck. Nightmare Before Christmas tarot deck. Going to give it a quick little shuffle. Show me clearly, please. Please clarify for me this King of Swords and this Page of Cups. Please show me clearly. What is this Page of Cups and this Queen of Swords? I'm picking up some anger here, some frustration, something not being said. Right, okay, so we have the Eight of Swords here. Eight of Swords. And the Star card. So the Star card's coming out here again. So we have it twice now in this reading. Star card. Which is beautiful because when you have the Star card, okay, when you have the Star card coming out and you have the Tower as well, that's perfect synchronicity. This is perfect alignment with Spirit. This is perfect timing, divine timing, okay, and allowing things to be as they are, allowing yourself to let go and go with Spirit, go with the flow of things and not fighting, not resisting, okay, because a lot of times when something like the Tower happens, your agenda starts coming through, like, oh, I don't have time for this, how can this happen, like, why me, and all these different storylines that we tell ourselves. So the Star represents trust, faith, and a newly found clarity. When all feels lost, have hope. Like Zero's glowing jack-o'-lantern knows, the Star will light the way and guide you forward. Now is the time to look to the skies and dream. The star is here to illuminate the visionary in you. Let go of self-doubt that's weighing you down, because inspiration is ready to carry you to new heights. All right, so we have the star. Beautiful. And then we have the Two of Swords. And remember I said, like, you're not sad, you're just bored? That's the energy here. Look, you guys. She's just bored. Like, she's like, oh, I'm making this. Two is like, she knows that she's not invested really into this thing. Like, she's making. I don't know if you guys have seen it. I'm talking to the people who have seen Nightmare Before Christmas, but if you've seen Sally and Jack, you've seen that romance is a little bit toxic, because she was telling him, don't do it. Don't do this thing because it's not something that you're going to be fulfilled by. And yet she supported him, and yet she allowed her energy to be siphoned into this endeavor instead of caring for herself. She kind of took herself apart, trying to love him, trying to be. Wow, look at this. She took herself apart, or trying to be what she needed to be for this person, and she looked happy doing it, for a time. Anyway, that's hard, but isn't this very similar energies, like the Eight of Swords and the or the Ten of Swords here, where she's like, it's like sticking and sewing and stitching and doing these things. I don't know if it's deprecating or if it's like modification, Virgo, but definitely be nice to yourself, okay, and don't allow yourself to hurt yourself with any negativity, but also just be real and be honest with what you're experiencing. So for the star card, to clarify this, King of Swords and the Page of Cups, I think it's saying something about allowing yourself to walk away from something that isn't fully, saying no to offers that you don't really feel, it's like you're like, oh no, I see him from a mile away. That cup is not big enough. He's not going to be able to, I know that cup isn't holding what I want it to hold. Okay, it's asking you to have this clarity, have this awareness, and I think too, from experiencing stuff like this, like you already know, damn, it's not good enough. Okay, this assuredness that it's not good enough. Okay, so beautiful. Let's go ahead and pull from the Thoth deck. So definitely, I'm hearing, Virgo, that you're needing to. It's weird because I feel the Hermit energy of like, oh yeah, Four of Cups, Seven of Wands. So Four of Cups, Seven of Wands. It's very like, you know, how do you know that you're not happy with something unless you sit down and you really think about it with the Seven of Wands? And this is addressing like your daily practice, like every day what you do. Is that something, if there is a problem with that, then like, how do you know? And it's because of your emotions, it's because of like how you feel, right? And it just doesn't feel like it's enough. And not at first, and that's why the Four is like stabilizing. Maybe you needed to feel that way to stabilize. Maybe you had been in some kind of crisis before, so now with it stabilized, and you spent so much time wanting that stable, but now you're like, I'm ready to step outside of that. I'm ready to be, put in a little bit of a more stressful situation. Look at that Victory in the reverse at the back of the deck. That kind of hits, you know. Then we have Adjustment, which is justice. Okay, and then we have the Two of Swords in the reverse, Peace. So yeah, this is what I'm feeling. I'm feeling like you're needing to step into a little bit of chaos right now. You're needing to step into a little bit of unknown, and that's kind of when you're gonna see your powers shine through, or like, like, if you're so much in your comfort and the people around you are comfortable, like everything is, you're surrounded by beauty and peace and all these things, then what adjustment do you really need to do at that point, and so that's why it's trying to tell you, Virgo, that's where your alchemy is. All right, so health promotes spirituality and spirituality promotes health. Choose one spiritual truth and live fully in harmony with it today. Observe how challenging it is to let your physical life be in concert with your spiritual ideals. Wow. So I feel like these are two vessels pouring into each other. This is very Aquarius. Star card is Aquarius energy, so I don't know if you have Aquarius in your rising or in your moon. But there is a message of, temperance, of patience, of knowing, that the physical world is also a part of the spiritual world and vice versa. As above, so below energy, very strong magician energy, very strong temperance energy as well, balancing out energies. Libra is coming through. Stars, there's stars in her cup as well. And in the star card, she's pouring the stars here, right? She's pouring stars. So there's something about stars. It could be mentioning about you focusing at your planetary placements, maybe what it is that um, what are the planets doing for you right now at this time. Um, so interesting the way that we resist when we think that God wants a specific thing or we want a specific thing from God. Look at the Four of Cups again, right under that. So I want to read you the Four of Cups because I feel like that's Four of Cups. All right, Four of Cups is Four of Cups indicates there's a decision to be made, but remember, you don't have to accept everything you're offered. Listen to your intuition and don't be afraid to decline opportunities that don't feel right. Make sure you know what you're signing up for by carefully reading the fine print, especially when faced with offers that seem too good to be true. Wow. Okay, so that's exactly what I said, isn't it? Didn't I just say that about this? This way, the way that this page was in the reverse. It's like I don't really want that. I don't really want that. You can stay over there with that. Like, miss me with that. Okay? So, wow. And I feel like the way that it's saying health here for you, Virgo, it's like trying to remind you of what health is, like um, what is healthy to you. And I think it's a very personal path, Virgo. It's a very, especially for you, Virgos. I feel like you guys are very embodied in the physical, which I love. I love that about Virgos. Okay, let's go ahead and pull a Gaia and Tarot. Thank you guys for joining me. I'm so grateful that you clicked on this video. So grateful to have you guys with me, co-creating this moment, co-creating some beautiful energy. Love it. I'm just gonna give these huge cards one more shuffle. This was like my first deck, and I thought it was so funny because I was like, I had no butterfly. I had no idea how to move with these, how to like navigate with all this. I'm like, how do I, but not that I've gotten any better, but it's definitely something that six of air. Okay, got lots of souls on the table today. All right, let's see, what do we have for Virgo? Please show me clearly for Virgo. 23 minutes on the clock for Virgo. This is a Tower card again, Virgo. Tower card again, but this was in the reverse. Star card twice, Tower card twice. I don't know who I'm talking to out on the internet, but this is very profound for you. And for me as well. I feel it. I feel the shift. That full moon in Scorpio really shook it up. It really helped people like realize what was dead in their lives and did not have a future. So let's go ahead and read that. Tower in the reverse. Lightning, the Tower. Sudden irrevocable change. Lightning strikes a tree and lights it on fire. As a thunderstorm rages, three figures fall out of the sky, as if in a dream. When lightning strikes, there is an increase in ozone in the atmosphere, which cleanses the air. Nitrogen is released into the earth when lightning hits the ground, causing sand and soil to flourish with greenery. In the same way, the aftermath of calamity can bring about renewal in our lives. In Celtic folklore, it is said that the tree that survives a lightning bolt often flourishes afterwards. People take pieces of such trees to bless their homes and draw good luck. In some indigenous cultures, a person who survives being struck by lightning may become a shaman or a healer. This card is one of sudden, irrevocable change, unlike the wheel, where change occurs in cycles and patterns. Lightning's change can be as catastrophic as an earthquake, a terrorist attack, or as illuminating as a sudden flash of insight. In either case, life will never be the same. So this is in the reverse. We got the shadow side of the card. So when you get the shadow side of the card, the upheaval is probably a smaller one, not as radical or life-changing. Fears and avoidance may be postponing a needed change or upheaval. The situation may be lasting longer than I had expected. Beware of allowing these energies to create bitterness and despair. Attempting to control outcomes may not be productive. Instead, use this as an opportunity to deepen your courage, accepting that there is usually an important gift hidden in the rubble of what has fallen. You may be ready to begin the healing process. Oof. All right, so your affirmation is going to be, I am transformed and liberated by my acceptance of profound change. Wow. How is my life radically changing? These are journal questions. What attitudes need to be banished in order for me to move on? What insights reveal new possibilities? What limiting circumstances am I released from? What is true security and false security in my life? When I've lost everything, what remains? What kind of healing does lightning offer me? What kind of healing can I offer the earth through the example of lightning? Okay. Whew, Virgo. This is some profound shift that you're dealing with. This is about you being bored on a daily basis, like how often that you spend time almost wasting your energy, allowing your energy to just pool, almost like any kind of stagnation. The Four of Cups is like, but I wanted stability and I wanted safety, and it could be your nervous system that needed to regulate and needed to just balance out. And now that you've received that balance, maybe you're needing to push yourself out, and the five, the energy of the five, which is crisis, challenge, and change, can be a little bit scary. And we don't have too many fives here in this reading, but we do have the Four of Cups twice, and we have the Eight of Swords and the Ten of Swords. Wow. And the Two of Swords. 8, 10, 2. So this whole stand tall and take a stand, it's time to show the world just how damn tough you are, Virgo. I feel like you understand exactly the message that Spirit is trying to push through here, the change that is asking to be had, and to allow yourself to be afraid if that's what you're feeling. Feel your fear, but don't let it stop you from release and from feeling whole. And yeah, so this is what I have for you, Virgo. I know that my readings are like elongated sometimes, and I often just feel like I don't really care if I don't say this message fast enough, or just constantly like spit out fact after fact after fact. And I don't really care if I have 100,000 followers or if I just have one. I'm just looking to channel what Spirit is telling me, and Spirit usually talks to me in symbols. In my mind, I'm an artist and I do see a lot, and you unfortunately are not able to see what I'm seeing, but I do my best to try and communicate. um, the messages that are coming through. The Queen of Cups at the bottom of this deck. So you have your strengths, Virgo. So lean on your strengths in order to help you through these hard times. Okay, allow yourself to take inventory. Once you come out of that tarot moment, look for those gems in the rubble and make sure to really give yourself grace and patience and know that you are loved and you are supported, and that there are more people than you know who support you and that are inspired by you. Okay, so this is what I have for you, Virgo. I hope that this reading helped. I hope that it gave you some guidance, some clarity. If it did, please make sure to like and subscribe. I love you guys so much. I do personal readings. The info is in the description box below. Thanks for joining me. Peace.